All right, guys, welcome back to the bench. So today we're going to talk about the recent two-gun match that I just did. But before we get into that, huge shout out to Brownells. They are an awesome company. Go ahead, use code BOP10 over at Brownells and go save yourself some dough. I can't wait to talk to you guys about this match. So I do think I had a failure with my EFLX. We're just going to talk about that right off the bat. I do think I had a failure with that. It is shooting about 6 inches low, but before I confirm that I've had a failure with this and I didn't just move something, I'm going to confirm this. I am going to go re-zero this optic tomorrow, zero it at 10 yards, and just going to go from there. I didn't want to have to deal with it yesterday, so I went to my backup gun, so we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit also. But before we kind of break down everything and how the stages went and do all that, where I screwed up, and we're going to go from there. But let's talk about the URG-I upper for a second. First of all, super accurate upper receiver. There were 3 stages at this event. This is just a local event. There were supposed to be 4, a longer range stage, but the problem was just too much rain this past couple weeks out here in Houston, and it just kind of flooded the long range area where we couldn't really use it. We were supposed to engage targets out to like 400 yards, and that wasn't a thing that was going to happen. So that's the crappy part. That's the really sucky part. I really wish we could do more long range stuff. I hope to get out to another one of those in the future and just kind of go have some fun with that. All right, so stage one. Stage one, you started up on a platform. It was probably 15 feet off the ground. And cool part about it, you got to lay prone. You had to start standing. You had to go lay prone. You had to engage 13 white targets. 1 red was the stopper. So if you hit the red one, you were done. So you had to make sure you hit that last. So then you had to do that. Then you had to get down. You had to run from there and go to the pistol steel. And then you had to shoot 9 pistol steel targets. Where each time you shoot a steel target, you have to reacquire a new position and go from there. I did miss 2 white targets. And it was because I didn't engage them. They were kind of hidden behind some trees from where I was standing, from where I was going prone at, which isn't a problem. The problem I see is that I couldn't see them. By the time they got to me, they weren't white anymore. There was like 4 or 5 people in front of me, and by the time I got to them, I had sucked. I had missed those 2, and that was my problem. Good part about it, I had a 36-yard zero. All those targets were between 30 and 50 yards. So I had a good 36-yard zero. I was smacking them every single time. Just putting that 1 MOA dot. I cannot tell you how good that 1 MOA dot was on all those little 6-inch steel targets. I had one. I had to engage a couple of times, move on to the next target because I couldn't hit it. Once I moved on to the next target, I smashed that next target just 1 round. I literally went right back to that other target and I hit it right dead on. So if you're ever having issues and you're looking at targets, and you're seeing them and you're like, oh, I can't hit that one, move on to the next one if you're allowed. If not, you kind of have to engage how you have to engage. But move on to the next one, then come back and hit that target. Like there is no issue if you have to move on and come back. Just remember you have to go and engage it. Unlike me, where I did miss 2 of those targets, but the one I re-engaged, I hit no problem. So I cleared out those. I hit that red target, run down, run across, run over. I hit those things. For some reason, I was missing on a couple of the 9mm shots. I don't know why, but yeah, it was good. I had a lot of fun. I tried to shoot right-handed a little bit around around the barricade, and I couldn't. Also, you'll see me readjust heavily inside of there, and it's because if your foot was outside of the red square, you would be dropped from the round immediately. So you have to literally be all inside the red square while trying to engage under it or over it or all of that. So that was a huge pain in the ass, and that's what I had a problem with. Then moving on to the second stage. The second stage was interesting, where I kind of figured out that my EFLX was shooting low. Now, the beginning part of the second stage, I had no issues. I did forget to throw the kettlebell over one time, which they actually didn't knock me for a procedural. I was surprised. I thought they would have, because I think that they were supposed to, and I just don't think that the guy did. But I did miss 2 targets. I didn't shoot a rifle, and I didn't shoot a pistol target. But apparently, since they are the same target, they count as the same miss, from what I was told. But if they were 2 different targets, they would have counted as 2 different misses. So I have no idea what happened there. I think I just got frustrated trying to figure out what was going on with my EFLX, and I have no idea what happened, but it just took a shit. And I couldn't shoot it. It was just this little clay pigeon, and I don't know what happened. So I got frustrated, and I moved on, and I wasn't upset, but going back and forth. A couple people on that stage hit the par time. I did not hit the par time. I think it was 240 seconds or 230 seconds. I did not hit that time at all. I think I cleared it in 151 with one miss. So I think it was 256, I believe was my time. I'm trying to remember all this off the top of my head because the match organizer was he didn't have all of that. I did place 9th out of 25, so that was pretty cool. And then going into the third stage. Third stage was a real heavy run and gun stage. Third stage was where I think I just kind of screwed up the most, but at the same time screwed up the least. I had the most hits on the third stage, like first round hits. I did hit one no shoot, and I hit one. There was a hostage taker target, and I broke the line, the white line. So I hit the hostage taker, and I also there was a little perforation. And I broke that also. So I did hit the hostage as well. Oh well, not my problem. I'm not involved in hostage taking shots. But yeah, that was one rifle that I think I just didn't aim high enough, or maybe I aimed a little too high. I have no idea. But it was it was actually pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with it. And then yeah, you just went along the side and you just shot 2 rounds in every single target except for the white ones. And that was pretty fun. And then you went over to the next one. You dropped a rifle in the bucket. You went to the next area, and then you just shot all the pistol targets. And then you went around, and then there was some steel targets. You had to lay over all the steel, which I did have to reload a couple times in that whole area. So I reloaded, I believe, I reloaded after I got there. That's what it was. And then once I got in position, I shot. I had to reload, drop my mag, shot again, and then I was able to just make sure that everything hit right off the bat. It was pretty awesome, and I was actually very surprised that I was able to hit and do everything. My first 2-gun match, I think I did pretty well, scoring 9th. I don't know. Maybe I didn't do well. You guys can tell me, you can tell me how much better you are. That's totally fine. I was actually pretty happy with what I did. Now, I'm not looking to run competition guns. That's not really what I'm into or anything like that. I'm looking to run and shake out the gear that I want to run. And that's exactly what I did. I shook it out. Let's go ahead and talk about the EFLX again. The EFLX was shooting low by the second stage. Once it was shooting low, I couldn't depend on it anymore. In between the second and third stage, I had about a half an hour of just my personal downtime where other competitors were doing what they needed to do. So I went around the corner to a different bay. I had confirmed that I had lost 0. I don't know if I lost 0. Maybe I just messed with it. But yeah, it was shooting about 5.5 to 6 inches low, and I was just like, okay. I went and grabbed my 2.0, went out and did the exact same things, exact same drill, stood 10 yards, shot the exact same target, and I was dead on. I was dead on 5 rounds, just right there, using 9mm Stand 1 Armory 115 grain FMJ. Bam, it was good to go. So I think this will definitely be my competition gun in the future. That trigger is fantastic. I don't know if you can see that, but that's how much it takes to go off, and then the reset is almost nothing. So yeah, I'm probably going to do that in the future. This is an Apex trigger on a M&P 2.0 compact with a hollow sun and a CHPWS plate, and then a TLR 7A. Not too bad. And then the Glock, no issues with the Glock itself. The Glock did great. I had no issues there. I did have to use my iron sights to finish out the rest of the second stage, just because the optic decided that it was going to shoot low, and I was not getting any target acquisition from it, like where I was hitting low or high or anything like that. So I just decided to use the iron sights and go from there, and I just had to aim about an inch high with the iron sights. As long as I aimed at the top of the clay pigeon, I was smacking the clay pigeon, so I wasn't too upset with that. But yeah, I'm kind of peeved that I completely forgot that I just didn't shoot those 2 targets. I was kind of bummed that I didn't remember to shoot those. And yeah, that was it. It's like when you're on the clock and you're just trying to make sure that you're doing everything. I'm just kind of peeved that I didn't shoot those 2. You're like, damn it, how could you forget that? But yeah, there's some stuff that you run into on the clock that you just wouldn't run into at the range. And I have tried to kind of get rid of that anxiety when it comes to the beep. But yeah, the key is to go on the B instead of the P. So as soon as that B hits, you just kind of go from there. And then as soon as the P hits, you should be already into shooting. So should be that, because I think they said that the beep itself is 0.4 of a second. So you should, by the time you hear the B, you should be moving. Once you hear the B, your body just needs to go. So it is a beep. So that's just one of the cool things I've learned in the past. Thank you to the No Other Choice Firearms Training. But yeah, the Glock did really well. I'm just kind of bummed about the EFLX. So tomorrow I will go out and I will double check that I re-zero this optic, and just to make sure that it is zeroed, and I will go from there. If it loses zero again after I put some witness marks and everything on it, then I don't know what to tell you guys. But yeah, it works pretty well. The X300T held up pretty good. And then the EFLX, I don't know. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I screwed something up, but I'm a little peeved about that. Other than that, guys, I mean, the stages were cool. Thank you to Iron Soul Tactical for putting on the event and doing all that, and a bunch of people I got to meet while I was out there. And yeah, I hope you all have a good one. Hope you enjoyed this match breakdown of my first 2-gun match and kind of what worked and what didn't, and what failed and what didn't. So please let me know if you guys want to see more matches in the future. It's hard for me to take off Saturdays, but hopefully I can find some Sunday matches here in the future. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, be a hoodlum.